Browns predicted to add Super Bowl winning QB to replace Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns quarterback situation is perhaps the most interesting one around the NFL entering next season. On paper, it isn't like the Browns have a perfect option to start in week 1. Frankly, the keys should be handed to Shedeur Sanders, as he at least has the potential to be something in this league. The Browns already understand what they have with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, so unless they want to be just average, Sanders likely gives them the best chance to be decent. But many don't expect that to be the case. And some have even predicted that the Browns could bring in another quarterback option. That includes SportsGrid's Grant White, who recently predicted that the Browns will sign another free agent quarterback in the form of Carson Wentz, which wouldn't be ideal for Sanders, according to Sporting News. Wentz has started in just 2 games in the last 2 years, as he spent 2023 with the Los Angeles Rams and 2024 with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's clear that Wentz is past his prime and is no longer capable of being a consistent starting quarterback. However, his veteran experience could entice the Browns, who are likely still open to any options at quarterback, with Deshaun Watson's status for the 2025 season in doubt due to an Achilles injury. If Cleveland were to sign Wentz, it could be the nail in the coffin for Sanders. With the Browns, the Colorado product already has an uphill battle to earn a roster spot, and adding Wentz as more competition wouldn't help Sanders' chances whatsoever, Daria Sharma wrote. Does Sanders get fair coverage in the media? The problem with Sanders is that the way he's covered is completely different than any other player around the league. Sure, some of that is self-induced, given who his father is, but it isn't like he can control who he was born to. If anything, it's also fair to wonder why he gets unfairly criticized because of who his father is. Deion Sanders is one of the greatest NFL players ever and hasn't exactly done anything off the field besides wearing some fancy chains and being a bit cocky, just like many other players and coaches around college football and the NFL. Some are tired of Sanders already in Cleveland, which could be a telling sign of how things will play out over the next few years. What can Sanders do to help his case? For the Cleveland Browns, they'll need him to be locked in. The more the media talks negatively about him, the tougher it might be. It has been extreme at times too, with the most recent example being from Justice B. Hill of Cleveland, He doesn't think Sanders should be allowed to drive after getting speeding citations. To me, Shedeur Sanders should lose the right to use our roads. He's rich, and he can Uber anywhere he might want to go. People shouldn't trust him to take his lead foot off the pedal. I know I won't, Hill wrote. For now, I'll withhold judgment about his football ability. I won't, however, withhold my judgment about his driving. The judge who handled his second traffic citation should have taken away his driver's license. The man should have lost the privilege of driving on our streets. It's a very strange situation, but regardless, replacing Sanders with Wentz just wouldn't make much sense. In a stunning twist that could reshape the trajectory of the Cleveland Browns, reports have surfaced predicting that the franchise may soon acquire a Super Bowl-winning quarterback to replace young star Shedeur Sanders. Just months after the Browns invested heavily in Sanders as the face of their future, the team's alleged pivot toward a proven veteran has ignited a whirlwind of speculation, emotion, and debate across the NFL landscape. This isn't just a roster shuffle, it's a clash of eras, philosophies, and ambitions. A changing of the guard? When the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Sanders, the move was hailed as a masterstroke. With pinpoint accuracy, poise under pressure, and a swagger born of championship pedigree, the Ohio Pistons won the Super Bowl, the 3rd time the Browns have lost its strength coach, destined to be the answer to Cleveland's long-standing quarterback woes. His first season, however, was a mixed bag. Glimpses of brilliance, fourth-quarter comebacks, laser throws on the run, and mature decision-making were often clouded by an underwhelming offensive line, questionable play calling, and flashes of inexperience. The Browns, hungry for a playoff run, didn't have time for growing pains. Now, as whispers grow louder, the Browns are reportedly eyeing a seasoned quarterback, a player who has hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, silenced doubters, and knows how to lead a locker room deep into January. Names like Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, or even a surprising return of Tom Brady, who has teased and retired more than a heavyweight boxer, have surfaced in the rumor mill. What's the play here? From a strategic standpoint, bringing in a Super Bowl winning quarterback might seem like a prudent insurance policy. The Browns have a top tier defense, a dynamic receiving core, and an increasingly urgent ownership group eager to capitalize on a narrow championship window. It's not about giving up on Shedeur, one anonymous team insider reportedly said. It's about maximizing our roster now. Shedeur's a Ferrari, but sometimes you need a tank for the playoffs. But critics argue this signals panic rather than patience. Developing a young quarterback has always involved turbulence. Would replacing Shedeur so early stunt his growth? Or worse, alienate him completely? You draft a kid like Shedeur Sanders, you commit, said former NFL QB and analyst Kurt Warner. You don't flirt with every veteran who becomes available. That's how you ruin confidence, his and your locker rooms. Shedeur's response true to form. Sanders has remained poised in public, sharing cryptic tweets and focused workout videos instead of interviews. His camp, however, has reportedly expressed surprise at the rumors. Coach Prime taught him resilience, said a close associate. But he also taught him to know his worth. If Cleveland's not all in, there are 31 other teams who'd love to build around Shedeur. Indeed, in an era where quarterbacks are more brand than position, a player of Shedeur's stature doesn't quietly fade into the background. The Sanders name alone brings a media circus. Any decision to demote or move him would come with national scrutiny and potential backlash from a younger, more socially engaged fan base. The veteran effect still is no denying the allure of a proven winner. Imagine the Browns with a battle-tested veteran under center, someone who's played in freezing playoff conditions, audibled at the line against Belichick defenses, or stared down Aaron Donald and won. These QBs bring more than stats. They bring culture, winning habits, clarity, and chaos. If the Browns want to win now, this is the move, said analyst Mina Kimes. But they better be sure, because you don't get two shots at a franchise QB. You can't stunt Shedeur's arc and whiff on the vet. That's how teams spiral for a decade.